Christopher Nolan's next film will be Homer's The Odyssey. The Batman 2 gets delayed an entire year. Squid Game Season 2 gets released. Robert Eggers' next film will be a Labyrinth reboot. And Tom Cruise is searching for a young Ethan Hunt. Let's get into this week's movie news.
What is up, movie friends? Welcome back to Raiders of the Lost Podcast, the ultimate film and TV podcast. We hope you had a happy holiday season. We just got back from our holidays and had a wonderful Christmas, and hope you all had a safe, well-fed, enjoyable holiday.
I was well fed.
I ate like a king.
I think I gained 4 or 5 pounds in the last week.
Also, James, great job on movie news last week by yourself.
Yeah, I don't think we need you anymore, Anthony. I think we can probably kick you off the show. You can remain as editor.
Who's we? Who's we can kick you off the show?
Juno and
Who else is involved in this decision? No, wow, I give you a nice compliment. I give you a compliment, you throw it in my face and say, get the hell out of here.
Sorry.
No, you did a wonderful job. I found it very entertaining.
Thanks.
You did way better than my solo one.
It was fun, but after 30, 40 minutes, you start to lose your voice, but also you start to lose your breath.
And it's weird. You're always speaking into camera.
People kept commenting that I kept looking to my left just to look at you. And it kept,
hello. You're like, where is he?
He's not here. Where's Anthony? Thank you, though. I appreciate the compliment.
Well, you held down the fort. You did a wonderful job, and I'm back on the regularly scheduled program. We have a great Nosferatu hour-and-a-half breakdown that comes out tomorrow. So we're back in the swing of things now that the holiday's over, and it's going to be a really fantastic episode. And I can't wait to talk about Nosferatu, the Odyssey. Who saw that coming from Chris Nolan? I can't wait for this. And then Batman 2.
A mythical movie epic by Chris.
He's finally doing fantasy.
Freaking amazing.
Finally doing fantasy. Also, one of my favorite stories reading as a kid in school.
As a kid, you read the Odyssey?
Yeah, we read the Odyssey.
No, we were like 10th grade.
Well, I look at teenagers as kids.
I guess so, yeah. I thought,
when you call them an adult?
When you said a kid, I was like a 7-year-old.
We were like 15.
7-year-old Anthony puts the Game Boy down to read the Odyssey.
I don't want Pokemon Yellow. I want the Odyssey.
I want to be Odysseus.
I love the Iliad. No, Odysseus is a great story, so I can't wait for that. But let's get into the box office. It was a big holiday weekend. Some impressive debuts from a couple of new films, as well as releases from last week holding strong. So Mufasa, which actually was beaten up, pulverized to the ground in the opening weekend by Sonic 3.
Mauled last
Sonic
week.
ran all over Mufasa, stomped on him. He curb stomped him. Mufasa came out strong and took the second weekend.
So Mufasa took the 5-day weekend.
Yes.
Not the 3-day weekend, but the 5-day weekend. Mufasa pulled $61 million at the domestic box office and had a huge Christmas day.
And Sonic 3 is still holding very strong with $59 million. The sequel is really liked by fans and critics alike, and obviously is performing super well. The biggest surprise has got to be Nosferatu, which has already grossed $39 million in the 5-day weekend. It made $21 million in its 3-day weekend, which is a fantastic debut. It's always also the second highest grossing R-rated film on Christmas Day. It pulled in $11 million just on Christmas Day alone. Well, so fantastic job.
That's going to be his biggest opening yet for Robert Eggers.
It's his biggest opening, and it looks like it'll easily become his highest grossing film, which is only good news because it means he gets to keep making more movies, which we need more Eggers films.
He ain't going to stop. Studios are going to keep giving him money. Focus Features, they like the Robert Eggers business because I think they like the prestige that he brings to their studio.
It's a fantastic film. Honestly, I'm seeing The Brutalist tonight, and then I'm seeing The Count of Monte Cristo tomorrow, which you should join me with.
Oh, maybe I will.
You got to come to Count of Monte Cristo with me.
Yeah.
It's going to be, dude, people are saying it's amazing.
I saw The Brutalist the other day.
So I'm going to see those two this weekend, and then I just have A Complete Unknown to see, and then I'll have an idea of what I think my top 10 films are.
So many movies this time of year. There's like next year, there's so many release dates for Christmas Day next year.
Christmas season's great. And then speaking of A Complete Unknown, a very strong $23 million opening holiday weekend. Both Nosferatu and A Complete Unknown exceeded their projections and expectations, so great job by both of those releases. Also, I think Timmy's really interesting and against type marketing campaign really paid off.
And this movie, I keep hearing the same things. I keep hearing that it's good, not great, but Timothée Chalamet is phenomenal, and also Boyd Holbrook as Johnny Cash is just epic, I guess.
That's what I bet. Saying. I mean, he looks great in the trailer. Mm-hmm. And then we got Baby Girl was the other new release with a $7 million 5-day box office for the holiday weekend. And then Wicked, still in the top 6 with $6 million still making some money.
$6 billion.
$6 million at $6 billion.
So really, really good Christmas box office weekend, 5-day weekend.
So you went to Nosferatu on Christmas Day?
Yeah.
Nice.
Saw it a second time.
Was it packed?
It was packed, yeah.
Nice.
It was awesome.
That's what I like to hear.
Really big crowd, and it was awesome to see it a second time, and I really enjoyed it. And I looked at it more of like an analytical approach for filmmaking, but still the first viewing was a lot better for me, I think, because it's just so unique, and it was just such an awesome world to be exposed to for the first time.
Honestly, right now, it might be my number one film for the year.
Over Dune?
Over Dune.
Oh, bro.
Well, so we're going to do both of our top 10s of the year after the Nosferatu episode on Wednesday.
Right.
So I think our lists are going to be pretty different.
I think so. I hope so. I don't want you copying my list, man. Looking at my sheet over there.
James will have red one at number one.
I'll probably put Fall Guy in the top 10.
Whatever you do, don't put Joker 2 or else people are going to hate us.
Oh, I'm definitely putting Joker 2.
Put Joker 2 in there. All right, let's get into
the biggest story of the year.
How unexpected was this? So with Christopher Nolan's next film, they've been releasing castings all of the latter half of this year. We obviously have Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Zendaya, Charlize Theron, Anne Hathaway, Pattinson, and Lupita Nyong'o. But nobody's known what this film was. We all thought it was Helicopter Cops.
Helicopter Cops, as well as vampire gothic period piece. Those are the two big rumors, and I thought it was going to be the helicopter one, man.
Helicopter Cops would have been pretty sick. Not gonna lie.
But it's not his style to film in New York City, and I don't know. It's not his.
You're
thing.
right. He's never filmed in New York City. I mean, except for a little bit for Dark Knight Rises. Just a little bit in New York City.
A little teeny tiny,
stuff.
a teeny tiny bit. I'm the one. I'm here. I came back to stop you.
Do they have good bagels?
So Christopher Nolan's next film will be The Odyssey, an adaptation of Homer's classic from 600, 700 BC when the story was written. With, again, that incredible class, it's described as a mythic, action-packed epic that follows the tale of Odysseus and his 10-year journey home after the Trojan War. Reportedly will not stray away from the mythical elements. It will also reportedly be the most expensive film of his career. It hits theaters July 17th, 2026. I'm sure it's going to be filming this year. That is absolutely absurd. And you know Christopher Nolan, he's going to do as much practicality as he can and as he wants to do, which is going to be absurd for a mythic epic tale. This is going to be insane.
I wonder how they're going to cast the Cyclops.
Tom Hardy.
They're going to do a Cyclops
method.
search. Pattinson's going to be if Pattinson's the Cyclops, that will break the internet.
No, I bet you Pattinson's Poseidon.
Or it could be someone trying to wife up his wife.
This is insane. So
Yeah.
I think probably my guess is Matt Damon's going to be Odysseus.
It's got to be.
And then maybe
He's
Tom
right- he's
Holland,
the right age.
Maybe Tom Holland will be his son. So there's no official castings in terms of characters yet. This is the confirmed cast for actors, but we don't know who anyone's playing.
So yeah, and there are a lot of really cool obstacles and aspects to the Iliad that lend itself to really huge filmmaking. And we haven't seen huge ancient epics on a grand scale regularly for a while.
It's
And
just Ridley.
Yeah, just Ridley. Well, I mean, and even fantasy too. I mean, this could be really special. This could be in the vein of Lord of the Rings, especially with Chris Nolan's unparalleled filmmaking and his quality of storytelling, as well as the practical aspects to his directing. I think that it was so unexpected. Everybody was like, it's going to be sci-fi, it's going to be sci-fi, it's going to be action. But the fact that he's going fantasy, I think it's going to be really cool. And there's so many great monsters in this, so many great creatures. So there's going to be a lot of naval aspects to this with the traveling on the ship. I mean, you're dealing with the sirens, you're dealing with the Cyclops, so many huge Goliath monstrosities that Odysseus encounters on his journey home. This is going to be really fantastic, and I can't wait. I mean, this is so cool, honestly. I think this is really fascinating.
What a breath of fresh air. Yeah. Honestly, I'm on board for whatever he wants to do. People are already doubting this idea, already doubting the casting choices as well.
Yeah, right?
This is Christopher
Nolan always casts well.
It's Christopher Nolan. He's going to kill this. This is going to be absolutely incredible. This is such cool news. I am so excited, and it's not that far away. July 2026, we're going to get an Odyssey movie. A fucking Odyssey movie from Christopher Nolan. What a time to be alive.
That's going to be... They're also using new IMAX technology.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know what, but...
No, it's been released.
What is it?
The drum roll, please. it's quieter IMAX cameras.
Oh, okay,
so
cool.
they've modified the cameras so that they're
Even more quiet.
they're 30% more quiet. So he's gonna be able to use them more often in intimate dialogue scenes.
Well, his last 2 movies have gone full IMAX cameras.
No,
Tenet was the first movie shot full IMAX cameras, and then Oppenheimer was full IMAX cameras.
no,
Yes, they were.
no.
I bet you $100.
He did 60 millimeter and IMAX cameres. That's why the aspect ratio changes.
Tenet he did all IMAX. Hold on,
No,
let me double check. Let me double check. Tenet,
It should be the aspect ratio
all
changes
IMAX cameras. When?
in both films.
Let's see.
We talked about it in our episode. It goes boxy to widescreen all the time in Oppenheimer, like all the time.
So they used IMAX reflex, IMAX Mark IV reflex, Reflex 765.
Oh, the Reflex. That doesn't sound
goddamn.
like an IMAX camera to me. Did you say Reflex, not IMAX Reflex? He has been using 60 millimeter for
full IMAX.
60, no, he's been- sorry, 65 millimeter for dialogue scenes.
Copy that. All right,
You sounded so confident. You're like, I got this, Anthony.
I thought I had you, man.
No, dude, yeah, the aspect ratio in Oppenheimer changes more often than any of his other films, especially with the back and forth timeline in various cutting.
Yeah, okay.
So this time, he's going to probably, I mean, this time he might be able to.
This will be Anthony. This will be the first time he uses full all IMAX cameras for filming, Anthony. Okay, no Reflex 765s.
Thanks. Wow, that's fascinating.
You're welcome.
Wow, thank you for
Aren't
the
you glad?
research. Thank you for doing the research.
That's what I do, man. I do the work.
James is never wrong.
I put in the work.
I mean, you've never been wrong. You've come this far without being wrong.
I've been wrong before, but
No, I'm just kidding.
not often. Once or twice.
Anyways, yeah, hopefully it'll be as much IMAX as possible because I mean, the bigger the frame, the better for immersion.
Nosferatu in IMAX was amazing.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
And then I saw The Brutalist in IMAX too.
Oh yeah, how was it in IMAX?
It was
stunning.
Great. Yeah,
the
it was
Vista
fantastic.
Vision.
It was one of the best looking films in years.
Excellent.
And it looked
Love to hear
fantastic.
that.
Yeah.
Love to hear that.
Wait until you see the credits. The opening and ending credits are amazing.
Oh fuck,
They're
yeah.
phenomenal.
Cool.
It's like the best part of the movie. I swear to God.
Is it like the trailer?
No,
Okay.
it's not.
Okay. All right. How about you?
Actually, none of the shots from the trailer in the movie. I'm just.
Okay, wise us. Let's talk about the Batman 2.
Okay, the Batman 2. The biggest piece of dread this week that people are losing their minds over, rightfully so. I'm pretty disappointed. You know, I'll wait patiently, but the Batman 2 has been delayed again, an entire year. The Batman 2 comes out October 1st, 2027. One full year after its most recent release date for October 2026. Remember, a couple of years ago, it's going to be 2025. This movie keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed. It will still shoot this summer 2025. It's still going to film. Pattinson and everyone, they're going to still shoot this movie. But apparently, James Gunn says that the script isn't complete. So they are not putting a release date until the script's done. And but I guess they're filming in summer. So that's what was released. That's apparently why the movie's getting pushed a full year. I can't help but think, does it have something to do with the release dates of Superman and Supergirl and a couple other DC projects? Who knows? Maybe Gunn wants, because he's co-CEO of DC Studios, so maybe they want to get Superman, Supergirl, and a couple other DCU movies in there before they release the Batman. Maybe to shake things up.
Maybe.
That's my guess. Which, it is what it is. I'm bummed. I'm disappointed. But at least it's still shooting. Another full year, though. That's 5 years in between Batman movies.
Long fucking time.
After rebooting it. You reboot it, and then you have 5 years between your sequels.
Yeah, that's a long time. I mean, Nolan was always, he did 2005, 2008, 2012. So 4 years was the longest stretch. Snyder, I don't even think went longer than 2 years without
Putting Batman in a movie.
versus Superman, and then Justice League. So those came out pretty quickly with one another. It's. I mean, that's a long stretch in between two films in one franchise.
Especially when you have a young Batman, year one, and then now your Batman. I believe Pattinson will be older than Christian Bale was when he filmed Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
So he's gonna.
Wow. Yeah. How old was Christian? 40.
Well, I think he was
2?
like 38 or 39 because
okay.
he was only 30 or 31 when he started with Batman Begins.
And they also shot only with IMAX cameras.
Only with IMAX cameras.
I think he was 34. Hold on, let me check.
It's It's pretty disappointing because Pattinson right now, I think he's 36, 37 years old. It's a bummer, but it's going to be odd because did the Penguin slow this down?
He was 31 in Batman Begins. Damn, he looked handsome.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God, I didn't look like that when I was 31.
Did the Penguin slow production on the Batman 2 down, and did it deserve that? And is it worth having that show if it means we got the Batman 2 years later than we were supposed to? I don't know. But also, again, Pattinson's going to be older. People are still going to be hyped to see it when it comes out. But for me, it's just so long to wait for sequels after you reboot the character, especially a story that, feels like it has to be told quickly. And I'm pretty disappointed by this.
Yeah, I mean, it's not what anyone wanted, obviously. I also think that, we all have to remember that Hollywood shut down for almost an entire year. It was shut down. And again, so Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, 4 years in between, that didn't have a strike.
They were still shooting.
Yeah.
They shot the Batman during lockdowns.
No, the strike.
Oh. Okay, the WGA strike.
The strikes. WGA and SAG. Hollywood shut down.
Yeah, but you don't think Matt Reeves was like writing a couple of sticky notes down?
Yeah, but it takes a long time to put these films together, and if nobody can work, like other than him typing,
it's the Batman.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. It's not. We got to remember Hollywood did not have anything operating for 9 months, so I think that also added to it. Maybe it's not quite ready. Nobody could work on it for a year, and so it hasn't gotten to the point where they're confident with the release date.
The strike was just actors and writers.
No, those are just the ones the news reported. There were multiple strikes that happened.
Well, Yahtzee almost went on strike.
Yeah, but there were other components and other unions all over Hollywood struck. They just don't make the headlines.
So who else struck?
A bunch. I can't remember. It's a bunch of unions.
Did the IMAX camera strike?
IMAX never strike.
Anyways, it's getting delayed for an entire year. It's a bummer, but there's been a bunch of shift in release dates. But let's continue on that because even though the Batman got pushed a year, Mickey 17 got bumped up another month, an extra month closer to us. So remember, it was supposed to come out in April 18th, 2025. It got pushed to March 7th, 2025. So we're getting Mickey 17 a month and a half earlier than we were supposed to after it got delayed 3 months, after it got delayed 6 months. So it's pretty cool. Mickey 17's coming out a month earlier. And they swapped release dates with Ryan Coogler's Sinners, which will now release on April 18, 2025, and also released a new teaser. So Sinners and Mickey 17 have switched release dates for Warner Brothers.
Have you seen the new teaser of Sinners?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah?
Action heavy.
Action. Oh, nice.
It opens with Michael B. Jordan throwing a grenade inside of a car.
Oh, cool.
It's pretty badass.
I like it.
And I think they're finally opening up to the fact of letting audiences know that it's more of a vampire movie now. Mm-hmm. But still, I think they're holding back on that.
But you could definitely tell it's like monsters at the very least.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I can't wait to see both of these films in Mickey 17 going up a month. It's almost our birthday week, too.
It is almost.
Yeah. Almost in time for our birthday.
But
It'll be an early birthday present.
Yeah, Mickey 17, March 7th, Sinners, April 18th, and then the Batman 2, October 1st, 2027. Okay. So Warner Brothers shuffled a bunch of their stuff around.
Yeah, so they're going heavy in the spring, I think, to avoid Disney in the summer.
Is it safe to say that Robert Pattinson might be the biggest star in the world because these 3 movies, 3 of them have to do with him with the Odyssey, the Batman, and Mickey 17?
The biggest star in the world?
Possibly.
Is still Tom Cruise.
He's up there. One of the biggest stars in the world.
Yeah. You could call him the biggest star of his generation.
Probably, of his age. Because, this is crazy. Warner Brothers' 3 biggest movies in the next year and a half.
He's the Warner Brothers guy.
He's the
Clint Eastwood of our modern era.
He's just not directing.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of, I just mentioned Tom Cruise.
Of course, we have to.
The real biggest star in the world. No offense, Pattinson.
Tom Cruise.
We love you, Rob.
One of a kind.
I'm sure Rob would agree. Everybody's been questioning, will The Final Reckoning be the final Mission Impossible film? Because, there are plenty of franchises that have had similar words like final in the end in their titles, and then they make another one.
Final Destination.
Yeah, that is the first one. So, there are rumors, speculation. We're not sure if this is true or not, but everybody seems to be reporting that Tom Cruise is interested in making more films in the MI franchise. However, he may not be acting in them. And it's reported that he is seeking an actor to play a younger version of Ethan Hunt. So we might be getting some Ethan Hunt Origins Mission Impossible movies.
This is the only origin story I'd be up for. So what's funny is I bet you that he ends up just doing mocap with a young version of
James
himself.
Cameron's making them.
I guess if you're picking a young Tom Cruise or a young Ethan Hunt, I wonder who you'd pick, because you need someone that's obviously very talented, someone that's great with stunts, because that's part of the character. You got to do a bunch of stunts. Tom Holland kind of comes to my mind of an Ethan Hunt origin. I don't know what you think about that.
Maybe. I'm thinking someone tougher, though. Tougher looking. Like a little Aaron Taylor Johnson action.
I guess.
If he doesn't get Bond.
But he's a little too old now.
He's way younger than Tom.
Is he?
Taylor Johnson's young. I think he's our age.
Tom Holland's like 26.
I know he's younger, but Aaron Taylor Johnson is still young enough, I think.
He's not younger than Tom.
I'm not saying he's younger.
You just said he's younger than Tom.
No, he's younger than Tom Cruise.
Oh, everyone's younger than Tom Cruise.
Yeah, so, Jesus, Aaron Taylor Johnson, 34 like us. What a career that guy's had. No. Oh, my God.
What a face he has.
I think you go with Aaron Taylor Johnson. He's proven himself with stunts and action really well.
Or do you go someone younger?
You go to a teenager.
Well, you can go to 20s. How old was Tom in the first Mission Impossible? He had to be early
28.
30s. Let me check. Mission Impossible 1 was 96, right?
He might have been 30.
Tom Cruise's birth year, 62. Same year as Mom.
28.
Yeah.
Oh, I was right. The
30,
first time.
30, 34.
Wait, what year did MI come up?
96.
Okay, 32.
34.
You said he was born in 62.
Yeah. Oh,
Plus 32.
Yeah, 1996. 34.
Oh, 34. My bad.
The way you were looking at me. Get out of here, math. Math's is hard for Anthony.
34. So yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Who's our age.
He's the perfect age to play Ethan Hunt.
Wow, really makes you look back. On
The
your
question
life.
is, are you going to go with that haircut, the spiky hair from the 90s?
No, it's different time.
Or is it going to be a period piece? Or is it going to be a contemporary reboot?
I think it'd be a contemporary reboot with just a young Ethan Hunt.
I mean, I'm down for whatever, but it won't be the same without Tom Cruise.
It won't be at all.
Yeah, it'll still be fun.
But you got to find someone that will do crazy stunts. I think that has to be part of the character.
Yeah, I mean, Paramount's going to keep making these movies. They make great money.
They do.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Speaking of more Tom Cruise news, it's just Batman and Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise for an hour.
It was kind of it was Christmas week and holiday week. There's not too much going on, but more shifts for release dates. So because of the push of the Batman 2 to October 1st, 2027, another film has taken its original release spot of October 2nd, 2026, and that'll be Tom Cruise and Alejandro Iñárritu's next film, or new film called right now Judy, unofficial title, which will take that spot that the Batman 2 was releasing in 2026. Again, this film follows the most powerful man in the world who tries to prove he is humanity's savior before the disaster he's unleashed destroys everything.
And it's also, Warner Brothers film. So this is interesting.
That got bumped up.
They really are. I mean, I think that linking up with Tom was a really smart decision by Warner Brothers. And this will be the first of many.
So Warner Brothers shifted 5 major release dates.
Hey, you gotta shuffle, musical chairs. That's the biz.
Shuffle it up.
That's the business. And then speaking of Batman,
More Batman.
So I think this has to do with the delay of the Batman 2. So Andy Muschietti's Batman: The Brave and the Bold has been delayed, and he adds that he might be making another film before that Batman film. And I think that's just because Warner Brothers doesn't want 2 Batman movies coming out very close to each other.
I bet you we don't get
sense.
Brave and the Bold till like 2030 now.
Yeah, I would say, you definitely want to wait a little bit of time, because if you don't want to oversaturate the Batman character, obviously, and having 2 at the same time, 2 franchises at the same time, that's a lot. So you definitely don't want them to come out with at least within a year of each other. You want to give audiences a little bit of a break to get them, and not because they'll be sick of it, but to build anticipation and to get them excited about another version.
Yep. And let's get into more Warner Brothers news. Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim is already releasing on digital just 2 weeks after the film's theatrical release. Friday coming up, you can watch Rohirrim on HBO on Max.
Yeah, was it booted from the top 10 this weekend? I think
It's booted from the top.
I think it was
5. I think it's first weekend. It never really even made a dent in the box office.
Yeah, it made $5 million on its opening weekend.
So not a huge performer at the box office. Probably lost Max a bit of money. Again, they made this because they wanted to maintain IP and $30 million budget anime Lord of the Rings movie. I guess that's a quick, easy way to do it.
A quickie.
because then they have the live action ones coming out in a couple of years, the Gollum films. So, I mean, not a great film apparently, performance-wise.
I haven't seen anything.
Already releasing on digital 2 weeks after its theatrical release.
I mean, I'm not really looking forward to seeing it anytime soon. There's a lot of different movies to watch, and it's really low on my radar.
I know. I still,
especially after reading a lot of reactions from people I trust.
There's still 4 movies I gotta see in theaters.
Yeah, there's a lot to see. What I'm really excited to see though is hopefully Robert Eggers' next film. He's just signed on for is Labyrinth, a remake of the '80s film starring David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly. He said he has just signed on for this, but he's also written a script about a medieval world called The Night, and then he also said he has 5 films in pre-production right now, and it's a matter of waiting until something's greenlit. He said you never know what's going to get greenlit, what a studio says yes to, so he just has a ton ready for when people will be like, investors will be like, okay, we'll say yes to this, go ahead and make it.
Yeah, they're probably waiting to see what's the performance of Nosferatu going to be.
So this is a great sign, Nosferatu's box office.
And then Labyrinth would be cool. Labyrinth would be a reboot remake I'd be down to see. Do you know who directed Labyrinth?
Yeah, Ridley.
Nope.
Well, no, it's, wait, I got this. Labyrinth, Bowie, Connolly, Mist, Puppets. I don't know.
Go to
Henson?
Yes.
Brian Henson or Jim Henson?
Jim Henson.
Jim Henson?
Yeah, there you go. You got it with puppets. There you go. Isn't that cool?
That's great.
I haven't seen that since we were kids.
Puppets. That's what got me.
All right, let's get into Squid Game news. Squid Game Season 2 dropped on December 26th, the day after Christmas, to pretty much mixed reviews. I haven't watched it yet, and I think that Squid Game kind of lost its hype. 2021 that show came out. A long time ago.
Long fucking time.
No one's really talking about this season. And season 3 is going to come out in 2025, summer or fall on Netflix. And that'll be the show's final season. But we all know Squid Game Season 2 was really made in a lot of ways for the wrong reasons, just for a quick buck. The director got paid almost nothing for Squid Game Season 1 and already took the job for the money, which I don't blame him for. You made a phenomenal show that just captured the world and was the highest viewed program Netflix ever made. But Season 2, I guess, just lost the edge in a lot of ways, and it's just a retelling of many of the same things. So I don't think I'll be watching Squid Game Season 2.
I think Squid Game was a diamond in the rough, and not just being like, I didn't think it was amazing. I thought it was good. But like, it gave people something to do. We were looking for a communal experience. Tiger King and Squid Game.
Mass murder really connected us all together globally.
Tiger King and Squid Game were what we needed. As a community to just to enjoy something together. And I don't think either of those shows are really fantastic. I don't think either of those shows deserve the audiences, really.
Squid Game, I think it had the elements that deserved it because it was so fresh and so unique. Never seen anything quite like it.
Sure.
It did have a fall off at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But when it was in the middle, when it was peaking, that show is phenomenal. It's still really well made, really brilliant idea. But I think that you're right. It's not like a top 10 show of the century or anything.
Oh no, not even close. And I didn't like the ending, and I thought that essentially the third act of the overall arc was just really weak. Third act, and I was like, it was a good first 3 episodes, and then it did pretty well. I wasn't really that excited for Squid Game 2. Plus the length of it in between seasons.
If it came out in 2022 or 2023, I would have watched it.
It took so long for it to come out.
It lost the hype.
There's so many other shows. It seems like so long ago when the first season came out, whereas people are used to TV shows, especially when they're very popular, to at least come out within 2 years.
Yeah, remember when House of the Dragon said they were going to do 2-year break? People were losing their
lost
shit.
Yeah, and Succession always did a great job of coming out every year, almost. So I think that when you hit something, when you're in the zeitgeist. In the modern era, you got to get back to it as quickly as possible because there's so many other things people turn to. And people are so distanced from the original season that it was like, and I was just like, wait, what even happened in the first season? It's been so long.
Yeah. Plus, it got turned into a commodity. We had a couple reality shows. The most recent one, like Mr. Beast dropped a Squid Game-esque show literally a week and a half ago, which I'm sure took a bunch of the energy from the sequel series as well.
Yeah, you can feel the milking of it.
Yeah. which is what I talked about with James Bond in the last movie news episode.
Yeah.
If you watch the full thing,
Oh yeah, you were talking about Prime.
Yeah, Barbara really trying to maintain.
You called her
control. Barbara.
You called her Barbara twice.
I'm telling you, it's tough to do 45 minutes by yourself. And just Amazon trying to milk that as much as they can. Same thing happened to Squid Game reality shows, and then just loses the zeitgeist. And then you just dilute the product, and you just wait so long. It's not like the Batman, where people are going to still turn on for the Batman 2 waiting 5 years.
Yeah, I think that, it's
But
just
Squid Game, I'm not going to wait 4 years and just go back to a show.
it's too long. It's way too long for a TV series to return. However, there is some really good news for Netflix. Their new film, Carry On, starring Taron Egerton and Jason Bateman, is becoming a absolutely massive hit on the app, and is tracking to potentially break into the top 10 most watched original films for the streaming service ever. So it's a huge hit. I know a lot of people have been watching it, and people have been saying it's pretty good, and it's a good time. And
Maybe we should do an episode on it.
Yeah, maybe we should do an episode and Carry On. I love the cast, and I really like the trailer, so I definitely want to watch it soon. So a big hit for Netflix, and I'm sure they're really happy about that.
Well, speaking of Netflix, there is a little bit of news on their scripts that I found that's going around all of the interwebs, where some details on Netflix-specific scripts, where Netflix executives are telling screenwriters to have characters announce what they're doing so that viewers who have a program on in the background can follow along. They also have thousands of micro-genres, including casual viewing, which is used for movies, TV that go down best when you're not paying attention. Tons of outcry over this, having screenwriters kind of sort of simplify their scripts and stories and plot. I think there are two sides to this coin. I understand the outrage, why people are upset that, this isn't quality movies or quality TV that we're used to. But at the end of the day, when you look at it from a perspective of a company and they're looking at their data, they know people are on their phones anyways. And so I think if you're complaining about this, get off your phone. If you're
gonna watch a film,
if you're gonna watch a movie, that's the problem, is people can't get off their phones. And so I'm not justifying it, but what I'm saying is a lot of people out there, they can't get off their phones, and they can't appreciate a movie. And I think Netflix knows that, and they're like, well, we might as well just keep them chilling because we know they're going to be scrolling TikTok, Instagram, Amazon shopping.
Text.
They're going to be texting. They're going to be on WhatsApp. They're going to be all over their phone for the majority of their. I know lots of people. I've watched movies with tons of people that you watch a movie with them. It's fine. It's their life. You can do whatever you want, but they're on their phone half the movie.
Yeah.
That's just, Netflix knows that. I think these streamers know it. And from a corporate standpoint, from a company standpoint, from an analytical standpoint, it makes sense to do that. When you understand the reality, but because I think people are acting like they're not on their phones all the time.
Yeah, I think you're right, because it's not, you don't like to hear that, but also they make so many shows and so many movies that, I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of filmmakers who are like, no, I'm not going to put that in my script, and I'm sure they're like, okay, we respect you. We're not going to force you to do that with every film and TV show. But there's so many TV shows, I'm sure that it's just like shows we've never even heard of.
Yeah,
are often the ones that are being asked of these things. And also, like, you hate to hear that, but also then you're like, I think you're absolutely right. I didn't think about it that way. I've watched movies with plenty of people, and I would say most people, they are on their phones while a movie's playing at home. And while a TV show's playing at home, absolutely, with a TV show.
100%.
Absolutely. And so we've outcried about this whole second screen phenomenon and second screen approach, but the fact is, people are using their phones while they're watching TV and movies, and they can do whatever they want. There's nothing wrong with that.
Netflix knows that. They can track that.
Yeah, so if Netflix, and I'm sure the other streamers know this, and so they're trying to, I guess, with their product, they're trying to make their product successful, knowing that someone is going to be shopping on Amazon while they watch their Netflix TV show. So let's make sure that we can simplify some of the dialogue.
So when they come back after they're on Instagram for 10 minutes,
they don't have to be like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that, because if you doom scroll, you are zoned out for 5 minutes, and then you're like, oh, what happened? What's going on? What year is it? So I get it. I mean, and again, anyone can watch a movie however they want. I'm not judging people. I personally can't use my phone while I watch a movie because I can't immerse. I like to immerse myself, lights off, either phone off or it's on Do Not Disturb, and it's literally in my cubby in my dresser. And especially now that I do physical media, it's really nice. I don't even have to, there's no way I can stop. It's very nice. So that's just how I like to watch a movie. A lot of people, they don't care. They watch movies. They're on Instagram. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just the world we live in, and that's how people operate.
The irony is, I saw this on Twitter, where I get a lot of movie news, and
there's a lot of irony on Twitter. I can't wait to hear
this.
The
irony here is when I saw this tweet and I read the comments, people complaining, Netflix is killing movies, Netflix is killing TV. I guarantee half those people had a movie streaming while they're on Twitter reading this tweet about how they're upset that this is what's happening.
I think you might be right. Yeah, a movie or TV show playing. I mean, I know people. I know people who are always on their phones during movies and TV shows, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not judging them, but the streamers are obviously taking note of that, and they're saying, how do we modify our products so that we don't lose them?
Yeah, but I think if you take your movie watching seriously, which you don't have to. Sometimes I watch a dumb movie and I'm like chilling on my phone too. It is what it is.
Also, Netflix has a lot of really great movies that weren't made in the last 5 years. Those are unaffected by this.
Yeah.
Completely unaffected by any of this.
But also, if you take your movie watching seriously, you'll watch a movie and be like, this isn't for me. I'm going to put something else on that I think I would be more engaged with versus a movie that people are simplified.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, there are two sides to every coin, and there's a reason why they're doing that, because they know the data. There's data they're reading, and that's what they're making their products off of.
Data. The dates and numbers, that's the shit.
That's the secret shit. Let's talk about Nosferatu again. So Sean Baker has named it as the year's best film. To quote him, "It's going to be very hard to beat Nosferatu for my fave film of the year. Must see on the big screen. Eggers' direction is masterful. And Lily Rose Depp." Stop typing at the. I'm losing it. And Nicholas Holt, he's typing on the document. It moved away. Deserve Best Actor nominations. Yes, they do. Glorious cinematography, score, production design, and editing. My God, this is an incredible film. It really is. I'm so happy I saw it twice. Sean Baker, based
as fuck. I like that, Sean. Yeah, I found that. I was like, I might agree with him.
Sounds like a cool guy.
I think I might agree with him. We'll see. I'm going to see Monte Cristo. I have really high expectations for Monte Cristo.
What time are you seeing it tomorrow?
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, send me that.
We should go together because it's an empty theater.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you.
No one's seeing a French movie.
It's a 4.2 on Letterboxd.
Wow, that's really good.
It's an 8.1 on IMDb.
I'm so down.
It's the most successful film in France's, I think, history. At the box office, I think.
More than Ratatouille?
I'm sure Ratatouille did great.
I'm kidding.
Don't. Whoa, that's my favorite Pixar movie,
I know.
bro.
I'm kidding because it's a Hollywood
why?
movie.
Who would see Ratatouille?
No. Not me. I love Ratatouille. That's the thing. It was a joke because it's not a French movie. It's just about a rat in France.
There are French characters in it.
I know. It takes place in...
How's it not a French movie?
Because it's not made in France. It's a Hollywood movie.
Nosferatu was made in Romania, but it's an American movie.
It's a Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
I know.
It's a real Hollywood movie.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Because Count of Monte Cristo is a French production company making a French movie.
I get it.
Ratatouille's Pixar making a movie about a rat.
A really great rat.
Remy's
the best.
All right, let's talk about Sony Pictures. So Sony Pictures CEO Tony Vinciquerra says that they're rethinking the future of their Spider-Man villain spin-off movies, which sounds like they're going to keep making them. To quote him, here's a couple quotes here about recent releases. "If we put another one out, it's going to get destroyed no matter how good or bad it is," Sony Pictures CEO says. And he insists that Madam Web isn't a bad film. Madam Web underperformed at theaters because the press just crucified it, he said. "It was not a bad film, and it did great on Netflix." I think that's the wrong approach. If you're looking at your movie's performance on Netflix as a success versus box office release, I don't think that's a great way to run your studio. And then Sony Pictures CEO also said Kraven the Hunter is the worst launch they've had for a film since he became CEO in 2017. He says, "I still don't understand because the film is not a bad film." I think that these studios are out of touch with the public. I think they're not listening to what people are saying online, and they're making movies for the wrong reasons without looking to the audience versus just staying internal with their discussions about how the movie should be, what the movie should be about, and what kind of film to make.
Let me push back on that for a little bit.
Okay.
Let me give a little push.
Push it, man.
You don't think that sometimes a wave of negativity starts rolling and people go with it?
Oh, 100%. I think that's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is, I mean, I don't think Madam Web had a good trailer, and I haven't seen either of these films. I've not seen either of these films, but I will say that I think Craven took a lot of heat and became a joke. But I think that's because Madam Web wasn't received well.
So wasn't same with Morbius.
Yeah.
You know,
but Morbius did okay at the box office.
Yeah, but that became a meme.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you know, just because they made a couple bad films doesn't mean, you know, their new film's going to be bad.
I'm not saying that either. What I'm saying is they're I think now they're finally looking at online discourse. They're looking at what the audiences are saying, what they really think about their films, because he's right. If they make another Sony villain movie, people are just going to laugh at it and not even go see it.
That's the point. I'm saying.
I know.
No, that's the point. The audience has turned on it to the point where they won't even give Craven a chance.
But what I'm saying is it took 6 years for Sony to see that. It took them so long to see what was clear when Morbius came out, and even before Madam Web
when did
came
Morbius come out?
2019?
I thought that was...
No, 2021.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been a few years, not 7 years.
Okay, sorry.
But and also, you got to factor in, like, they greenlit Morbius, then they greenlit Madam Web, then they greenlit Craven. It's not like they greenlit Madam Web after the success of... After Morbius's release was done. You know, they were like, okay, we have these properties, we have these characters, let's get them going. And then Morbius comes out, it does okay. People don't really like it, but you know what? The ball for Madam Web's already rolling. The ball for Craven's already rolling. So you got to factor in the fact that, like, they are making these decisions in succession, and it's not like they're waiting until the audience reacts to Madam Web and then we're going to make Craven. You know, they were already going. And so I think that with these three out, they can, and they're looking back on it. And also, I mean, Venom did really well.
Venom's the key.
All the Venoms did well, so you can't knock them for trying a similar thing with the other characters.
$2 billion franchise.
And again, I don't think any of the Venom movies are really that good.
Venom.
So I mean, I haven't seen Craven, but I saw the first scene and I thought it was pretty good. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is that the internet has gotten to this point, and we've seen it with other films in the past.
The Flash.
You and I really like The Flash, and we still get heat about
Joker, Folly Ado is probably the worst example we've ever seen.
Sometimes, you know, people, sometimes a really negative opinion can take hold, and then social influence begins steamrolling. And then people are making a decision about a movie before they've seen it, and they're ganging up on it. And in a way, it's like internet bullying a film before it's come out. You know, everyone on the Craven trailers, it had no chance. It had no chance, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I think and now they're finally realizing that. He's right.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is he's right. At the end of the day, though, if you make a great product,
yeah,
it'll beat all that.
Yeah.
It will destroy all the internet hate. If they make a great super...
Well, what I'm saying is, what if Craven was awesome? Right?
Exactly.
But that's what I'm saying. What if Craven... I haven't seen it. I'm sure it's not great because it hasn't gotten good ratings and reviews. But imagine if Craven was fantastic, it still would have failed.
It might have. It might have.
If Craven could have been fantastic, but it was getting destroyed already. And so what I'm saying is, the internet's turned so much against Sony that not even a good movie can stand a chance. So what I'm saying is, Tony Vinciquerra is saying is, even if we make a great film, it will die because it will open to nothing.
But why not make a great film and see what happens?
Because they don't want to spend $100 million on a movie that the internet's going to gang up on.
They spent $110 million on Craven.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they made these decisions years ago for these films, is what I'm saying. And now they're changing it, is what I'm saying.
True. I agree. But I think
they didn't know the internet was attacking these films before they came out, when they greenlit Craven, is what I'm saying.
Well,
and now this is what I'm
saying is you have an entire arsenal of employees.
Yeah.
You can't discover this stuff. You can't discover the memification of your movies.
What do you mean, discover it?
You're acting like they didn't know.
They didn't know. And nobody sets out to make a bad movie.
I know that, but Morbius became such a meme. And that movie got re-released in theaters.
Yeah.
Because they thought people were loving it.
Yeah.
But they misread the memification of it.
But what I'm saying is Madam Web and Craven the Hunter were already in pre-production before Morbius even came out. That's what I'm saying.
Probably very early
pre-production. The Venom did super well, and so they were like, okay, what other characters do we have? Movies are put into works years before they come out.
Yeah, I know. I'm well aware.
So what I'm saying is they didn't even know that Morbius was going to get memed before they greenlit these films.
Yeah, but why aren't you restructuring your strategy?
They are right now. That's what I'm saying.
But it took 5 extra movies to do that.
But again, what I'm saying is the ball's already rolling. This is what happens. Like, Venom does great. Okay, Morbius. Okay, that didn't do well. But we have Madam Web and Craven in production right now. Hopefully, those come out well. And they didn't, obviously. So now they're changing their game plan. What I'm trying to say is that they didn't understand. They didn't know that it was going to be that they were going to be destroyed. They didn't know when they greenlit Craven. I'm sure they had the best intentions. I'm sure they had high hopes. They put a lot of money into it. They got one of the biggest stars, the best actors of his age as Craven. I'm sure they were like, this could work. But as it was in pre-production,
the vegan hunter.
Yeah, well, they thought it was going to work. They were trying to read culture, and obviously, studios got to stop thinking Twitter is culture. That's not real life. And so what I'm saying is now they know about the backlash to their brand. They didn't know that their brand was defunct 3 years ago when they greenlit Craven. Is what I'm saying.
But reshoots show that they did find out.
Yeah. But I'm saying when they greenlit it, they did not know that the internet was going to gang up on all their movies before they came out.
I get it. I'm just saying at the end of the day, just try to make as great a product as possible.
I don't think that J.C. Chandler tried to make. I believe he tried to make a great movie.
I'm sure he did.
He's got a lot of potential as a director.
I bet you Craven's good. I still haven't seen it yet.
I'm telling you, I like the scene they released. But yeah, I mean, we're at this point where he's right. This brand is so tainted that there's no point even making more of these villain movies. Because if they make a great one, it'll get torched before it comes out.
We'll see. What I also heard about the Sony Pictures is that it could just be a rumor, but they're I saw that their next Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 4, they want to do a big superhero movie mashup with it. They want to turn it into sort of a team-up film, in a way.
All right, we'll see.
But
they've done 3 solos, so
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, Doctor Strange is in No Way Home. So aren't 2 other Spider-Man.
They did 2 solos. Iron Man. Well, hey, Superman's going to be a team-up.
Yeah.
I think. We'll see. I mean, there are other characters. I don't know if it'll be a team-up.
I don't think it's going to be a team-up movie. I think it's just going to be a super
introduction.
Yeah, it's a super being world movie.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, here's the thing. Audiences in this genre, are very, it's like becoming like Star Wars expectations.
People are becoming very picky.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I never like to turn on movies before they come out. I like the Craven trailer, and I was like, I'll watch it. I'll watch it when it comes out to streaming. There's just too many Oscar season movies that are coming out in theaters that I'm too busy with.
I saw this big post on the Superman trailer, and someone said, oh, great, it looks like a Marvel movie. I'm like, Marvel movies, there have been so many great ones.
Exactly.
What are you upset about?
Yeah. I think that, they're kind of turning, a lot of fans are turning into toxic Star Wars fans where they're never satisfied.
That's a good point.
It's like, guys, it's just a movie.
It's a movie. Let's talk about more movies.
So, stay on streamers and Netflix. Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Fowl, debuted at the BBC, on BBC, and got 9.4 million viewers for its live airing on BBC, which are huge numbers for TV. I mean, 9 million in this day and age, live, that's absurd.
That's pretty
Put
nuts.
that into perspective, like Game of Thrones at its peak was getting 16 million viewers per episode at its peak. And then like House of the Dragon's getting 2.
But this is just one country.
This is live.
Okay.
This is not streaming. This is not, I'm watching it when I want. It's playing right now. Watch it right now. That many people watched it.
In England, because it's not out in North America right now.
And then it's been released on Netflix in the UK and became the second most watched title in the UK on Christmas Day. It comes to America finally on Netflix on January 3rd. I have been dying to see this
film. Dude, I forgot that it wasn't out in America.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was like, I'm watching Wallace and Gromit. I booted up Netflix.
Yeah.
I was so hyped. And I'm like, it doesn't come out till January 3rd.
I was so sad. And my girlfriend lives in the UK, and she watched it Christmas Day and said it was amazing.
Wow, without you, how could she?
Well, I mean, I told her to. And plus, I don't think she wanted to wait. And I tried to I signed in her Netflix, and it still wouldn't work with my IP address. It was like available on the 3rd. I was like, no, but it looks great.
Try a VPN.
Yeah, I'm gonna try a VPN. That's what I was thinking. But it's getting in fantastic ratings. 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, 4.1 on Letterboxd. IMDb is an 8.2. I mean, Chris Parker with his films and the shorts in the werewolf feature film, Wallace and Gromit is just quality, great comedy, old school fun, and I can't wait to see Feathers and McGraw back in action. They're calling it Mission Impossible-esque.
That's amazing.
I can't wait, and I'm gonna be fucking sat on January 3rd using your Netflix.
Well, on January 3rd, I'm going to be sat seeing Seven in IMAX.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
we'll both be sat.
there,
We'll be sat together.
It'll be a double feature. Seven, then
Double
Wallace and
feature.
Gromit. Double feature. David Fincher's Seven will be releasing in theaters for the first time in IMAX theaters next week to celebrate the film's 30th anniversary. We are going on January 3rd, IMAX theaters. Cannot wait to see this goddamn movie.
Did you get a seat next to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're sitting next to each other, man.
Good,
We're going to hold
good.
hands the whole time.
Yes.
Detective. Also, did you see the Happy Gilmore 2 teaser?
Yeah, it doesn't look that bad. It looks all right.
So Happy Gilmore
Looks all right.
teaser 2 teaser has been released. Comes out 2025 on Netflix.
I think my theory was right.
It showed Travis Kelce. It showed Schumer Gavin at the gravestone of Chubbs with Happy Gilmore surprising him. And you think that he's gonna have to train him?
My theory from when they announced before the trailer from like 6 months ago when they announced the film, I was like, if they should have Shooter McGavin, Happy go to Shooter to train him to get good at golf again.
Yeah,
that would be ideal.
It's pretty silly. He's got a beard now. He's still wearing the Bruins jersey, and the girl from the first film says the line, "We've only just begun." It's gonna be very cheesy and corny, but I'm honestly pretty excited about it.
We'll see. Yeah, I'm mildly optimistic about it.
It's Happy Gilmore.
It didn't
man.
look bad. It didn't look
The first
bad.
one's great.
Oh yeah,
It really
it's-
is.
It's one of a kind. We'll see. They gotta go, dude. He needs to be. The language needs to be foul.
I'm afraid it won't be.
If the language isn't foul, I won't be happy with it. They gotta.
I don't think it's gonna be.
We'll see. I mean, there's some crazy stuff on Netflix. There's some crazy stuff there. I think they could do it.
All right. So last week, I talked about how Linus Sandgren will be filming Dune Part 3, Dune Messiah now. He's filling in for Greg Fraser, who's still shooting The Batman this summer, 2025. Linus has also been tapped to shoot Wuthering Heights for Emerald Fennell, her next film.
Yeah, and he's a magnificent cinematographer. If you've seen Saltburn, like if you look at Promising Young Woman and then look at Saltburn, it is because he didn't shoot Promising Young Woman. You see how much an artist like him can bring to a production.
Yeah.
From the camera to the lenses to the style of shooting. It looks like Saltburn and Promising Young Woman look like different filmmakers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
And then you feel it when if you look at Damien Chazelle's films.
Whiplash to La La Land.
Yeah, it's a
Crazy
huge
difference.
jump. So having someone like him on your film is really like it excels and elevates the artistry, elevates the filmmaking and the visuals to such a degree. And I think he is. If Greg Fraser can't do Dune 3, I think Linus is the best next option.
I saw this dumbass tweet
What'd they
where
say?
On the story with Linus being doing Dune 3, someone said he's never done. He's the wrong choice because he can't handle the scope. And I'm like, have you not seen First Man? First Man,
No Time to Die,
Babylon,
$250 million movie.
insane.
Here's the problem: a lot of people on Twitter, recent film lovers who haven't seen anything before 2000, they think that Greg Fraser is like the only DP alive. Fraser and Deakins.
Yeah.
I love both those guys. They are two of the best. Fraser is really elevating and
He's like a rock star.
pushing forward filmmaking and cinematography in such amazing ways. But Linus Sandgren is also doing that. And he, I think, is just as interesting and beautiful films, and he's done such stellar work as a cinematographer. I mean, it's ridiculous. These people don't know what they're talking about.
Plus, I mean, Hoyt Van Hoytema.
Yeah, dude.
Hoyt shooting
They don't even know who Gordon Willis is, I guarantee you.
Hoyt shooting Nolan's The Odyssey. That's going to be insane.
I'm salivating. There's a lot of wonderful cinematographers working today. It's not just Deakins and Fraser. There's a lot of them.
I think Fraser's just turned into a sort of rock star cinematographer.
Yeah.
Because he deserves that, but also people think that no one else can do what he can do.
Linus is unbelievable. Like, No Time to Die is the best looking Bond movie.
100%.
It's the best looking Bond movie. Better than Skyfall. Better than Skyfall.
All right, let's get into our last bit of news, Anthony.
Speaking of filmmaking and quality and artistry, Brady Corbet revealed that he plans to shoot his next film on 8-perf 65 millimeter, which is just a larger frame. So perfs on a film strip are the little holes, essentially, that the projector in the magazine will pull, that pulls it forward. And now a 35 millimeter film has 4 perfs, 4 holes on each side of the frame. And then 8-perf is double that. So it's double the size of the frame. So you're looking at, it's going to be high quality 65 millimeter. And so it's not quite IMAX, but it looks phenomenal. And it's not VistaVision, but this is a little different, but it's kind of like the same thing. So it's just a bigger film frame, much higher quality. And they're rare cameras. They don't make these cameras anymore.
I was going to say, yeah.
So because the 8-perf film strips, no one shoots with that anymore. Just how people rarely shoot with VistaVision. And so they stopped making these cameras years ago. So there's not that many. So you have to be able to find them, locate them. Are they in good shape to make a movie? And so I'm sure they put a lot of work into locating the right cameras and the right film to make this project. But I'm sure it's going to look fantastic.
Pretty cool. Wait to see the Brutalist, man.
Yes.
Let's go. Stunning visuals.
Stunning.
It feels, well, I don't want to comp. I want you going blind. I don't want you to have expectations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm seeing it this evening.
Cool.
It's going to be great. 6 p.m. I'll be there until midnight. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that long.
There's a 30-minute intermission.
30-minute intermission?
Yeah.
That's a long intermission.
Well, so when I went and saw it, I think the projection is messed up because obviously like 2 hours in, they do the intermission, so they shut off the projector, turn the lights on.
Oh, the intermission's in there. They might not know that.
No, yeah, so let me finish the story, bro.
Sorry.
Let me finish the story.
I'm waiting.
Let me go back.
I'm waiting.
So 2 hours in, the lights come up, the screen goes black, projector gets turned off, and I'm like, oh, this is the intermission. And then I went and got popcorn, used the restroom, came back, and the screen was still off, lights were still on, and then about 5 minutes later, the projector turned back on, and there was a shot of the intermission image with the music. And I was like, oh, the projection is messed up. They literally turned.
They thought they had to do the intermission
turn the camera off.
Yeah.
So then there was another 15-minute. Then there was a 15-minute intermission with a countdown on screen.
Yes.
And I'm like,
so it's a 15-minute intermission. You had a 30.
If they do it right.
You had
mine was 30 minutes. It's way too long. Also, Gary Cole is at the theater.
Gary Cole.
Ted Jones.
Oh, Gary Cole? Really?
Express. Yeah.
No way.
I saw him in the bathroom.
Oh my god.
And then
That's so funny.
he was watching the movie as well.
Next to you.
So I think the projectionist made an error.
Well, it was the first night, so I'm sure they corrected that.
Yeah, I think it was the first screen.
They probably weren't sure.
It was like
18th?
Yeah, it was like 1 p.m. or something like that. Or maybe it was just that guy's first day or girl's first day on the job. But I think I think they messed up the intermission.
I don't think they did. They did.
Because I've seen movies with intermissions.
They did mess it up. They did. You don't think they did. They did.
They turned the lights on, but they leave the projector in the film.
Yeah,
rolling.
like I just saw Lawrence of Arabia, and they had a countdown of 50 minutes for the intermission, while the music played.
With that still of them on the balcony of the city.
No, it was just a black screen.
I thought the intermission had that still of them when they're walking. They're in Egypt.
Egypt?
No, what country are they in? Where are they at the end in the third act? Of the movie?
Arabia.
What's the main capital? No, the capital city.
The capital city?
The third act of the film, where they have the big meeting.
They're in Saudi Arabia.
I can't remember what city it is.
Yeah.
But when I saw Lawrence of Arabia with the intermission, it was a freeze frame on that when they're on the balcony walking.
That's cool. Mine was just a black screen.
Lame. Anyways, I think. So there was it's either a 15 or 30-minute intermission, which I loved. I think this movie, we need to bring intermissions back.
Yeah,
for long films. Killers of the Flower Moon, I think, needed an intermission.
I was locked in the whole time.
I was locked in, but I mean, I still needed an intermission. It's a long fucking movie.
Avatar 2 needed an intermission.
Yeah, I think intermission.
The whale sequence was the intermission.
The intermissions,
not the hunting whale, but when they're just like swimming around for 30 minutes.
Super helpful for audiences.
We're 2 hours in and they're just like having fun in the water. I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a piss.
Gets to the point where I'm like, I have to pee so bad, but I'm trying to hold it and I don't want to go. That's all I can think about. Anyways, let's wrap up movie news.
Like a bow.
That's all we had.
That was a lot.
Not a huge amount of news, but some massive stories, of course. Lots of Warner Brothers stuff. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Raiders of the Lost podcast. Be sure to stay tuned for episodes this week. Nosferatu tomorrow on Monday, and then our top 10 favorite films of the year on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews on Spotify and Apple. Hope you all had a wonderful holiday and are still having a wonderful holiday. And take care.
See you next time.